Howdy out there, folks. Today we're going to be looking at this new, relatively new, 4K Blu-ray disc of Total Recall, the 30th anniversary edition. And firstly, let me just start by saying I'm a huge Paul Verhoeven fan. Of course, some movies are better than others, but his trifecta of RoboCop, Total Recall, and Starship Troopers is as impressive of a three-film sci-fi lineup as you can get. And I think he struck gold with all three. And I remember seeing Total Recall, really, actually all three films in theaters, and I just the feeling, the shared feeling that I can recall watching the movie was incredible. Just they're great movie theater movies, and of course they look great on Blu-ray and 4K as well, as I'm about to elaborate on. But this 4K disc of Total Recall looks terrific. It maintains some of the grain, so it doesn't look too waxy, unlike Terminator 2's 4K disc, for example. And you know, in terms of the story, the practical effects by Rob Bottin, just some of the humor, this is just a classic film. I think it's one of Arnie's best. I'd put this right up there with Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and perhaps Predator as being sort of his four best action-y sci-fi films to date. You know, he's made a few others that I really like, but I think this is definitely one of his best. Now, in terms of the disc itself, of course, this is your standard case, and it's got the special features disc, which is nice because all of that content is on one disc, and then you've got your Blu-ray disc, and then your 4K disc, I believe. Can't really see which one is which. This looks like it's the 4K. But in any case, if you haven't seen Total Recall lately, I strongly recommend that you do, because it really holds up. I mean, yes, some of the effect work, obviously, it's not perfect, but that's part of the charm, and it just feels tactile and believable. And I think that in many ways, these films from the late 80s, early 90s, before they really went CGI, and fully embraced CGI, I think are some of the best. I'll give you another example, The Blob, which I just recently rewatched, the 88 remake. I mean, terrific. The practical effects in these films are really to be commended, and it's you know, people like Rob Bottin and so forth who really made so many fantastic films that just simply made you believe. And while the CGI, I think, has gotten better over the years to the point where it is difficult to tell, I still think your mind and your eye know the difference. And I just feel like if I'm going to watch a film like this, I'd rather watch this original with some of its warts than, for example, that god-awful remake that was done back in 2012, which really was just a cinematic abomination. I wouldn't even, I just don't even, I pretend it doesn't exist, quite frankly. It certainly doesn't exist in my dojo. So on that note, please do give yourself a treat and revisit Total Recall, or watch it for the first time. I think you will be impressed and surprised by how much it holds up. Truly, it's one of Arnie's bests, and it's Paul Verhoeven in fine form. So on that note, take care, everyone. Until that next time, stay safe, be kind, and keep watching cinema.